Okay, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, are you all ready to go all the way? Ready to give 110% focus? Alright, okay, go, let's go. Alright, so animation, final subject for the day. So why do we need to animate kita punya content? Alright, very simple reason. Remember what I said this morning, kalau submission document, don't bother animating. Presentation document, wajib. Kenapa wajib? Why is it compulsory? Is because, I'll give you a very simple prime example. If you design a slide that looks like this, and you decide to talk in front of it, okay? You, as a presenter, you want to talk about step 1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the meeting. I want to talk about the first step that we need to do. The first step is blah 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 blah. You look sibuk cerita pasal step 1. Half of the room are already reading step 2. Some of them are reading step 3. Some of the boys are checking out the girl. Nobody is paying attention to you talking anymore, because they can consume the information ahead of you talking about it. Now, the main objective of why we animate, fundamentally, is to avoid that from happening. Itu saja. That's the fundamental reason. Jangan bagi peluang orang digest content kita sebelum kita bercakap. Alright. Anything else on top of that is, all the fluffy stuff lah, which I will also share. Okay, so some of you are very used to animating. Some of you don't animate your content. So because of the knowledge disparity, the skill disparity in this room, let's all go back to the very basics, yeah? Okay, first thing that we need to do, when we want to animate any content whatsoever, okay, like this one, before you, under animation punya tab, the animation function, before you start animating anything, make sure you open up this function called animation pane. Yang ni wajib buka. Why? So that every time you do an animation, there will be a listing, a line item yang akan keluar to indicate what you have done, what you've animated, what you have not animated. Kalau tidak, you're just shooting in the dark. If there's a lot of animation, you don't know apa yang dah buat, apa yang belum, and things like that, yeah? So, before anything, open up the panel first, put it on standby. Okay, let's go through this content. The first content here is step 1, okay? So normally, for the first content on the slide, I don't bother animating. Tak payah animate the first content. You don't want to come to a slide yang kosong, yeah? And then you kena klik, barulah the first content keluar. What's the point, right? So normally the first content, let it be on your slide so that when you sampai to this slide, straight away you can talk about the first content. Okay, great. Let's not touch step 1. The first thing that I want to highlight here would be step 2. Would be the arrow here, yeah, that will introduce step 2. Now arrow ni, I'm sure some of you under animation, okay, arrow, what do we use? Wah, banyaknya option. Dah, otak dah geliga, macam-macam nak try. Guys, for very simple things like an arrow, please don't choose things like bounce. Okay? Tak payah, bounce lah, comel lah. Okay, jom kita tengok arrow dia, toing, toing, toing. Tak payah lah. Just because it's there doesn't mean you have to use it. Alright? Now, for me, a simple arrow, all you need to do is just wipe it. Okay, wipe, because wipe ni, when you select wipe, dia akan wipe from bottom to top like that, bottom to top. But just like the push transition earlier, you can go to the effect options, change the direction of the pushing, follow the arrow punya direction. In this case, from left. That's it. Tak ada bouncing, tak ada flying, tak payah apa-apa. Just let it wipe like that. And you can see here on your animation pane, you already have the right arrow animation. Okay. Alright, let's go to the next one. Step 2. Okay. Normally for text boxes, I will just use a simple paint, because paint ni dia masuk secara lembut, it's very easy on the eyes, nothing flying, nothing bouncing, it's just very simple like that. But because it's the second content, we also have to decide how do we want step 2 to come in. Dia punya starting trigger dia, you have 3 options. On click, you can make it come in with previous, or you can make it come in after previous. Now let me explain the difference between the 3 triggers here. Kalau you select step 2 to come in on click, that means step 2 will only come in when you click. Understand? When you click or you press the next button, baru dia masuk. If you select step 2 to come in with previous, then you have to understand the term previous. The term previous is referring to the previous animation that you set. And the previous animation that you set is for the arrow kan? So if you select step 2 to be with previous, that means step 2 ni akan masuk together with the arrow. Bila arrow tu tengah white, step 2 ni akan fade pada masa yang sama, same time, because you select with. Versus if you select after. If you select after, that means it will be after the arrow. The moment the arrow dah finish white, automatically step 2 akan fade in, tak payah tekan apa-apa, but it only comes out after. Okay, so Sandabi, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, I have a very simple question and there's no right or wrong. Your answer semuanya betul. It's because it's based on personal taste. Based on your personal preference. How many of you, for step 2 how many of you would set your trigger to be on click? Angkat tangan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7. How many of you would set step 2 to come in with previous? Angkat tangan. With 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. How many of you would set step 2 to be after previous? Angkat tangan. A bit more. Okay. The majority. Alright. So again, everybody has their personal preferences. So just for the benefit of the room, I will share the difference between all three. Okay. Let's work on step 2. If I select it on click, okay, let's see what happens. When I'm presenting, okay, my first click, the arrow akan white. On my first click, the arrow will white. That's it. Now I have to click one more time for step 2 to come in because I set on click. Tak salah. I mean, some of us are perpetual clickers, hantu click, semua pun nak click, semua nak manual. Tak apa, boleh, not wrong. Or if you want to play a guessing game with the audience, you wipe. Can you guess what's coming next? You not main teka-teki ke before you reveal, up to you lah. Is control on clicking. Okay, that's one thing. Next, the difference is, okay, if we select with previous, let's see what happens. Okay, if we select step 2 to come in with previous, that means you can see when I click for the arrow to white, the step 2 tu akan masuk pada masa yang sama. Let's go. Click. There you go. It comes in together with one click. Alright? Okay. If I select after previous, then the behavior will be a little bit different than with. Because now when I click for the arrow to white, the arrow will white sampai habis, only then step 2 will come in. After the arrow dah habis wiping. One click. There you go. Okay? So like I said, none of the three are wrong. It's based on your personal preference lah. It will only be wrong if your step 2 keluar dulu baru arrow to white. Dan tu salah lah. Because it's going against the reading order, right? Okay, so you get the idea. Alright, let's finish this entire slide. Okay? Let's see whether your memory is still very strong. For the arrow, what did I use? Okay, alright. You all are still awake. Good. I changed the direction from left. Okay. For text box, what did I use? Fade. Alright, great. So I will just select after previous lah because I think that's the most natural. Okay. Okay, great. Now, this girl, okay lah. This girl you want her to fly lah. Okay lah, hantar lah. Nak fly lah. Okay. But just be mindful if it's dia punya avatar dia there's no lower part here, dia terpotong macam tu. You janganlah you nak fly tu tiba-tiba let's fly her from the top nak jatuh macam hantu macam tu, tak payahlah. Alright. So make sure she come from the bottom so that as though the rest of her body is somewhere down there lah. You just cannot see it in your slide, that's all. Right. So just be a bit more tasteful in your selection. Alright. So you see, the moment you take a little bit of trouble to animate your content for a presentation, the moment you arrive at the slide, you can take your time talking about step 1. With the assurance that people have nothing else to read or nothing else to refer to, but to pay attention to you. Only when you're done, then you click, then you start talking about the next step. Again, take your time, you control the flow. And once you're done, click one more time to finish your content, so on and so forth. That's the only and the main primary reason why we animate our content. Anything on top of this is just fun lah, or just to create a little bit more excitement. But try to fulfill this fundamental reason first. Okay. Now speaking of fun stuff, let's go into the more fun exercise. So imagine you want to talk about your journey. Okay? So the start of the road is where you are, this is where you were 40, 50 years ago, and this is where you are today. You have to talk about history or journey. Now, you can also make your objects move. In this case, it's the car, right? Kalau you nak buat kereta tu gerak ke depan kan, it's quite a cool effect, yeah. So now, I'm going to select this car. Okay, to make it move to here, under animation, if I drop all the way down, coba mantu pula. Itu. Sorry, I'm not cool. Okay, so okay, let's come back. To make the car move, yeah. If you drop down the animation menu all the way down, paling bawah, there's a section called motion path. Alright. So the first one is a straight line. So I'm going to select the straight line. See what happens. Yeah. When I click this, the car goes down like that. Okay, ke bawah. Now I just want you to pay attention on a few things. There are two dots there. There's one green dot on the car. The green dot signifies where your object starts, and the red dot is where your object stops. Okay? Now, if you want it to move forward, your mouse ni, you just put it on top of the red dot sampai your arrow dia jadi arrow dua kepala macam ni. You can just click and hold it, pegang the red dot, and you push it forward like that. Okay? And I'm going to put this in between now. Okay, like that. So now, okay, this is the start. Okay, this is where you are, and then I'm going to make the text box disappear. I'm going to make this car move forward, and now your text box comes up after that. So you get the idea on how you can make your object on one slide move from one part of the slide to another part of the slide. Yeah. Boleh ingat tak? InsyaAllah. That's the safe answer. Because it could affect your end exercise, right? Now, graph and charts juga. I'm quite certain that no one in this room animates their graphs and charts, your pie charts and all that. Tipik macam tu je. Yeah, what you see, what you get, that's it. So I just want you to know that tomorrow when we go through the pie chart or the graph and charts and all that, I will also show you how you, if you want to story tell, you can also make your slices come out one by one. If you don't want to reveal the full data, you want to talk about market shares ke apa ke, you want to follow your storytelling flow, you can also make them applicable as well. Okay? Alright. Now, another example. This one is similar to the campaign methodology yang I shared before lunch tadi, that rotating wheel tu. Ni pun sama juga. When I did for Rajati Maimunah, she wanted to talk about the history of banking. Yeah? How it started thousands of years ago. Dia kata, Joe, this slide, I want to bercerita. So don't put any sentences ke apa, just put icons saja to represent the milestones. Okay, fine. So I put one here there. So zaman-zaman dulu, when people have to pay tax, diorang kena bagi haiwan ternakan sebagai payment. Yeah? So depending on which civilization you come from, kena bagi kinjil lah, unta lah, cows lah, you know, that's your currency. Then people who were very very successful and had to pay a lot of tax, banyaklah haiwan nak bawa merata kan, which is not very logistic friendly. Yeah? Okay, so 1,000 years later, then of course the concept of coins started to come about. But coins ni, because they were small, they were valuable, so asyik kena curi, asyik kena rompak. Yeah? So all these rich people who had a lot of coins, their house was not safe anymore. So what did they do? Where did they keep their coins? They started to keep their coins inside temples and places of worship. Because back then, fear of God was really, really high. Everybody was afraid. Yeah? So nobody would steal from a temple. It was a sacred place. Sampailah all these temples and places of worship started to overflow dengan coins orang. So what did they do? They started lending them out to people that needed them. Right? And in 1472, the first bank came about in Italy. Yeah? So that's basically, I just explained it in 2 minutes. Rajati will probably take 10 minutes storytelling about everything. Yeah? But I'm sure what you noticed was macam mana on my click, they rotate, arrow comes out, your first icon. Then they rotate again, another arrow come out, another icon. This is a very very cool storytelling tool. Yeah. So I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay. Alright. This one, pay attention because it's definitely going to impact your end exercise. Okay, let's make things spin. Alright. So before that, my laptop is starting to hang. Kejap, let me tutup and buka balik. Yeah. Hang on. Okay, so where were we? Animation. Alright. So I'm going to show you how to spin that gear. Now let's do the first one. Now if you want to spin anything lah, nak benda to spin, yeah? Alright. Under animation, let's open up the pin again. Under animation, if you drop down, area warna kuning ni, this yellow area which is emphasis. Emphasis ni, your object doesn't come in or go out. It's there, it's on your slide. You just want to create a little bit of movement. So under the yellow area, there's a function called spin. So let's spin it. Dia akan spin. But the default setting ni, dia hanya akan spin one full circle, which is 360 degrees, and then dia akan stop. Yeah, that's the standard default setting lah. Then some of you will have a funny idea in your head. Wih, smart lah dia spin macam tu. Wah, I think kalau I ambil gear ni, I letak dekat hujung slide kan, and then in the background dia akan rotate non-stop. Just as a side effect lah kan. Cantik juga kalau buat macam tu, right? Now, if you want it to spin non-stop, boleh, right? But you have to do a little bit of customization. For example, once you have your animation pane open, yeah, okay, this is the spin function. Now, at the end tu dia ada this black arrow here for you to expand the menu, yeah. Okay, I want you to pay attention to two things: effect options dengan timing. Just these two, options, timing. Because whichever one that you click, dia akan buka the same window, separated by tabs. This is effect, this is timing. Yang sama je, okay? If you want it to spin non-stop, the timing dia, down here dia ada repeat. Currently the default setting dia tak repeat, it's none. That means it will only go one full circle, 360 degrees saja, and then it stop. So if you want it to continuously repeat 360, 360, 360, you can always drop down. Boleh lah repeat 2 kali ke, 3 kali ke, 4 times, 5 times, 10 times, or the maximum is called until end of slide. Meaning, it will continue spinning 360 until you move to the next slide. For as long as you are on this slide, they akan continue repeating the 360 punya motion. So I'm going to click OK. Alright. So let's see that in full screen. I'm going to click now, and let's see. There you go. It starts spinning non-stop. Alright. Okay, done. Can follow so far? Good. But now, that's the easy spin. But how do you do the customized spin? Yang dia spin sikit-sikit, right? To release all the icons in between and all that. Yeah. Okay, let's do it. Same thing. You go back to the yellow area and you select the spin function. Okay. What is something? Okay. But now, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, you have to do a little bit of maths. You buat mathematics sikit. So imagine around this gear, you want to introduce 6 icons. Okay, 6 icons. So we know a full circle is how many degrees? 360. So kalau kita ada 6 icon, how many degrees of rotation should we set per icon? 60. You get the idea, yeah? 360 divided by 6, you get your 60 degrees, right? Or so on and so forth. Right? So, now how do you customize the rotation punya value? Just now, I showed you how we went to timing. But now, kita pergi ke effect option. Let's go to options. You can see here the amount. Standard default setting 360 clockwise. So you can drop this down, you can select quarter, which is 90, 180, 360, 720, or you can custom. Ada kotak custom ni. So let's just put, maybe for example 30 darjah lah. Set 30. Now after you put in the number kan, you kena tekan enter tau. So press enter so that when dia tutup, dia reflect the number. Yeah. Don't click OK straight away. Make sure you enter first until it closes, then you click OK. So now it shows 30 degrees clockwise. When I click OK, it should move only 30 degrees. Let's go. One more time. Okay, that's only 30 degrees. But you realize that something else happened. What happened? Tadi dia laju, sekarang dia slow kan? Now, that's the funny thing. Just now, during a 360, it was moving quite fast. But just because I changed to 30, it became slow. I did not alter the duration, I tak tukar timing dia, duration, I didn't touch at all. But yet, it became slow. Here's the logic behind that, yeah. Because everything here is controlled by a duration. In PowerPoint, the spin function the default setting yang PowerPoint letak is 2 seconds. That's the default. Kalau we don't adjust, the duration is 2 seconds to move 360 degrees. Yeah? And because I didn't change the duration, it is still 2 seconds, but now we are traveling how many degrees saja? 30 saja. So because the distance is shorter, but it has to fulfill the same 2 second criteria, dia kena puratakan kelajuan dia. That's why it became slow. Yeah. So you get the idea behind the PowerPoint, the logic lah. Yeah. So don't make people wait 2 seconds just to move like that. Okay. You can always go to timing. Okay. Dia punya duration ada dekat sini. As you can see here, the duration is 2 seconds. You can always drop it down 1 second ke 0.5 ke. Make it move a little bit more energetic lah. There you go. Let's play again. Yeah, 30 degrees. Okay, let's do one set like how I did for Rajite tadi. I'm going to put one arrow. Okay, I'm going to arrange it like that. I'm going to put it here. Okay, and I'm going to send this arrow to the back to clean it up, make it look nicer. Okay. Guys, arrow tadi, what did I use? Slow, white. Alright, remember, white. Change the direction from left. Should I select on click, with or after for the arrow? Because the previous one is the 30 degree spin. So arrow should be on click, with or after. Anybody want to try? Let's select after lah. Okay. And then let's introduce the word custom spin. Okay. Kita repeatkan dia and also after the arrow. Now if you look at your animation pane, you see here there are three animations. The first one is a 30 degree spin. The second one is the arrow wiping. The third one is the text box fading in. And kalau you tengok the color boxes, dia nampak macam staircase. It looks like an anak tangga, where one is coming out after the other, after and after. Yeah. And there's only one mouse punya icon here, which means you only click once. So let's see how that looks in full screen. On one click, 3 things are going to happen. It's going to spin 30 degrees, the arrow is going to wipe, and the text box is going to fade in. Okay, one click. You see that? Nampak kan? Okay, one more time. 30 degrees, wipe and fade. Yeah, that's one set. Okay, here's the part that 70 to 80% of participants forget to do when they do the exercise. Now, you want this gear to have another spin, to release another icon. Yeah. You cannot simply, because this wheel ni dah ada spin function. So if you want it to spin one more time, you cannot simply come back here and click spin because it's already there. So if you want the same object here to have more than one animation, yeah, you want to build another animation on top, which means you want another line item here for the same gear. You can add animation. You see one function up here is called add animation. So you are going to put one animation on top of the previous one. So yang ni kita add animation. Let's add another spin. And now kita kena customize balik lah. Yeah. Let's go to the effect option. Let's change it to, instead of 360, let's change it to 30. Press enter. And then we go to timing. Dia punya duration 0.5. Okay, dah. Now this arrow tak payahlah buat baru, kita Ctrl C, Ctrl V, so that the arrow punya animation pun will be copied as well. Yeah, so we can just rotate, singkatkan sikit, put it here, send to back to clear it up. Okay, let's introduce this text box. Let's fade it in, fade after the arrow. Okay, now if you look at the animation pane, step 1 dengan step 2, the two sets ni, do they look identical? Dia punya tangga dia, yeah? The staircase all looks very identical, yeah? So there are only 2 mouse clicks here. So let's see how that looks like in full animation. My first click, my second click, you get the idea. Yeah? Okay, good. Confident? Inshallah. Right. So, open up the folder called campaign. Okay? There's a folder called campaign. And inside that folder is a document called exercise 1 animation. Okay, open that. Oh no. Okay. Everyone ready, yeah? Alright. So I'm sure everybody sees this on their slide. Okay. Can you guess what I want you to do? Okay, alright. Guys, this is my instruction. It's a two-part instruction, yeah? The first instruction is, imagine if you are designing a billboard. Okay? Where will you put all the objects? Mana nak letak logo Proton X50? Where will you put the caption, Intelligence that Amazes? Where will you put the paragraph? This is completely your own personal taste lah. Based on your own design sense, letaklah mana you nak letak. Put it wherever you think is nice. But what is not negotiable, please lah. Kereta tu, please put it down on the road. Tayar tu, please put it on the car lah. Jangan biar dia flying macam tu. Okay? Alright. So in terms of design and placement, don't care. Completely up to you. But here's what I want you to try. Okay, the animation. Now, listen to my verbal explanation. Yeah? On your first click, both tires will start spinning. Yeah? Bukan tayar depan spin berhenti, lepas tu tayar belakang spin berhenti. No, like a normal car, please. Both tires start spinning together, continuously, no stopping. And when you are spinning, please check whether kereta you does it suggest that it's moving forward or tengah reverse. So the spin punya tu, whether clockwise, counterclockwise, think of the logic, okay? Alright? Okay. So, once both your tires have started spinning, your next click, Proton X50 punya word tu will fade in. Fade in, And then once Proton X50 punya word has fade in, on your next click, Intelligence that Amazes will fade in. And then after Intelligence that Amazes dah fade in, on the next click, the paragraph will fly in. Macam that girl tadi lah, fly lah, top, bottom, left, right, up to you lah. Dia nak fly dari mana, alright? And on your final click, the Proton logo will fade in after the paragraph. Okay? So whether you want to select with previous, after previous, on click, completely up to you. But just follow that sequence. Now, I'm going to give you a generous 20 minutes to try this. Okay? Now, for those who manage to do this in under 10 minutes, masa dah siap, dah cantik, I'm going to give you a bonus challenge, yeah? Okay? Kejap. But for this one, if you want to see an example, okay, you can see here, the tires are spinning. Okay, it's really moving. Asap putih tu just ignore. That's just me looking for a white smoke animated chip, tambah letak belakang tayar, you don't have to do that. Just as long as the tires have started spinning, okay? So, on my first click, Proton X50, my next click, Intelligence that Amazes. My next click, paragraph flying in. My next click, Proton logo. That's it. Yeah? So, if you can do this in under 10 minutes, the bonus is for you to do this. The car is not even in the slide. Kereta tu I parking kat luar. It's somewhere outside the slide, kat kiri. Right? It's there, waiting to come in. So first I start off with the Proton X50, and then the caption, paragraph flying in, and then the logo. And tiba-tiba kereta tu daripada luar, dia start masuk, with the tire spinning and all that, right? Yeah, and it comes in like that. And then you remember, oh yeah, tadi dalam kereta berpaya putih Sandabi tu, dia ada motion path lah. Dia ada dot warna merah tu, dia klik dot merah tu, dia tarik ke depan. Ingat macam mana? Senang lah, boleh-boleh. Guys, let me tell you what happened to the last people who came for this, from Sandabi that did this. What happened, kereta tu masuk, tayar dia kena tinggal kat luar. So later you see the tire trying to chase the car and come back, all hell will break loose lah, right? Guys, I'm giving you this exercise not because you are required to move cars in the future in your Sandabi presentation. Tak payah, right? But I'll tell you this. This exercise has all the variations included, from duration, timing, and animation, sequencing, semua rolled up in one exercise. If you can master the complexity of this, any other day-to-day animation yang you kena buat will be very, very easy. I can guarantee it. Yeah. And this one, you cannot angkat tangan and ask for my help. Tak boleh. This one, you have to discuss with the people on the left and right, or the front and back, to see how you all can achieve it together. What went wrong and all that. Okay. So dari sekarang, good luck. 20 minutes. Go.